It's your old pal, John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper, and you're listening to Video Store Clerks Podcast.
Welcome to the store.
Hello, hello, hello. This is episode 89, and we are still trapped in the video store. But that's good news for you because it's time once again for the Video Store Clerks Podcast. We are your clerks for the evening. I'm Dave.
Yeah, man.
I'm Mike.
Chuck.
Want to play? That's what we're doing tonight, folks. It's going to be a fun one. As you can see, we will be going over the 1988 first appearance of Chucky, Child's Play. Are y'all hyped?
Ready.
Super hyped. Ready.
Yeah.
But we will start the program as we always do with the news.
Ade Due Dambala. Give me the news, I beg of you.
That staying and doing nothing is as heinous as doing it all.
All right, we're having technical difficulties, as we can see, a little frustration there.
Kind of perfect.
It's just one of those days.
I don't need Limp Bizkit to make this day any more aggravating. No, let's not do that. Let's talk about killer dolls. I don't want news or whatever the fuck.
So yeah, real quick, box office is pretty much the same as it was last week. Five Nights at Freddy's #1 brought in another 19 mil, bringing the total up to $114 million, which is pretty impressive, especially seeing as it came out on the cock at the same time as theatrical release. Taylor Swift hangs on to #2, and Killers of the Flower Moon #3.
I was wondering if Taylor Swift was going to take it to #1 this week or not. It's kind of funny. Five Nights at Freddy's is still #1.
And what's interesting is that it came out, horror movies tend to do well after Halloween, around that Veterans Day weekend, which Child's Play did as well, which we'll be talking about here in just a short minute.
Oh, okay.
Confirmed, Danny DeVito and Billy Crystal are working on a sequel to Throw Mama from the Train, tentatively titled Throw Papa from the Train.
Interesting.
Who's Papa? That's what I thought. Like, I think I would see that.
I mean, it's Danny DeVito.
Right?
I can't. I mean, I'm okay with it.
Can't turn that one down.
Oh.
Well, once upon a time, J.J. Abrams was working on a Constantine TV series for HBO Max. No longer. It has been scrapped.
Oh, no.
That's probably going to have what's the face in it that was in the series.
And we'll never know. We'll never know.
Because he was the Constantine.
In remakes and reboots that nobody asked for news, the Scarface reboot has hit another snag as they're going through yet another director.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I was hoping it was a rumor.
Let me guess, Blumhouse is doing it.
I hope not.
Oh, God.
Oh, if that one blew your mind, this one's really going to shock you.
Oh,
another remake for The Longest Yard is on its way.
Why?
Don't know. As Burt Reynolds passed away a couple years ago, and it's not known if Adam Sandler has anything to do with it neither, but it is happening. When did that come out? I think it was 2005.
There are so many better movies they could be like redoing besides those two. No, I mean, I'm sorry. No offense to Scarface or whatever. I'm just mentally burnt out on that movie, but it's a great piece of cinematic work, 100%. But does it really need to be remade? Like, no. That's like saying like somebody's going to remake Casino or Goodfellas.
It was kind of like giving Carlito's Way a sequel. That shit sucked too.
Carlito's Way. Jesus, that movie had so much potential.
What?
I love that movie.
Do you want to go to war? Do you want to go to war? I'll fucking bury you, you fucking cockroach.
It has some cool moments. I'll have to go back and watch that one. The whole scene in the bar always kind of like, I was like, that's pretty crazy. Anyway, what the fuck are we
I
talking
love that
about?
movie. I could watch Scarface every day and be fine.
You fuck with me.
Scarface.
You fuck with the best.
I don't know. I guess I just kind of got sick of like, I don't know, every gangster talking about Scarface and don't get high on your own supplies. The only thing they learn about life, da 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 da. And it's just like, that's all you get from that. Okay. And I just kind of,
Chuck Nasty. You know what a haza is? That's a pig that don't fly straight.
And finally, the idiots at Disney continue their I'm sorry.
Whoa.
I'm in a weird mood tonight. More pulls at last strings of desperation as Robert Downey Jr. has reportedly already signed on to return as Iron Man.
I mean, he is Iron Man, so at this point, he can be in anything that has to do with Iron Man. I mean, he really is.
Well, so they're trying to go back and fix it.
Yeah, but I mean, who else could play like Iron Man at this point? I mean,
Nobody.
he is that character, like in real life too. So, like what's his fucking name? What's Iron Man's like human name? Right, yeah, and that's Robert Downey Jr. completely. He's even said that. Huh?
Ghostface Killer?
I don't fucking what? Ghostface Killer? What's about Wu-Tang now?
Tony Stark.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know anymore. I'm over the news. Let's have some fun. God damn it. Let's go back to 1988. Oh, I remember it well. The first time we saw Chucky, the killer doll. I can't do the voice or the laugh. I wish I could. There's only one man that can, and his name is Brad Dourif.
I used to be able to, and then I went through puberty real hard.
Okay.
And I started smoking like 2 packs a day. That didn't really help either.
That does not. Well, that's a shame.
No. I still work on a
story
cosplay.
Starts off in the streets of Chicago as our detective Chris Sarandon.
Sarandon?
Sandin?
I can't say that right neither.
Chris Sandin?
I can't say that right neither. It's like photography.
Good evening.
What's up, Jeff?
Hey, I like how the chat looks like that now.
I do too. That looks pretty badass, actually.
I can dig it.
Good evening. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the store. As our said detective is chasing the notorious serial killer, Charles Lee Ray, on the streets of Chicago, leading him into a toy store. What?
What?
What? Oh, sorry.
Right.
Leading him into a toy store after shooting him.
Did you just
Fatal wound, in which he finds the fucking rack of good guy dolls. Shit!
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know either. I'm just going with it. I'm just going with it.
Dave's possessed.
I think I might be too. God damn, I feel weird. I feel goofy as hell, man. Oh, I know what's wrong.
The glasses. The glasses. There we go.
Bang!
There we go.
Need that safety blanket.
Yeah.
So anyway, he chases Charles Lee Ray into the store, and Charles Lee Ray transfers his soul to the good guy doll. How does the chant go? It's the first couple words I screw up.
What is Ade Due Dambala?
Dambula,
Give me the power I beg of you. Pretty
And
simple.
lightning strikes the toy store and blows the fucker up.
No.
But before Charles Lee Ray dies, he vows revenge on the detective that murdered him and his partner in crime that deserted him.
He never
Those
got that
mother-
revenge. He never got that revenge on Mike, though.
What?
He never got that revenge on Mike, did he?
He tried.
No, he tried to.
Yeah.
Which one was Mike?
Chris Sarandon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, no.
Yeah.
Who probably most recognizable from Fright Night, which was made by the same director, Tom Holland. Not that Tom
yeah.
Holland, not Spider-Man.
Not Spider-Man.
Not Spider-Man.
Princess Bride.
Yes, Princess Bride as well. He wasn't in like a ton of
forgot about
stuff,
that one.
but everything he
yeah.
was in was like, pretty successful.
Top notch.
I mean, he's the fucking voice of Jack Skellington. I mean, that's his.
Oh yes, yeah.
I just found that out like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
I never knew that he was the voice of Jack Skellington. No.
It's true.
Yes,
I always love that. I always love that scene in Princess Bride whenever he finally is there with Inigo Montoya and he acts like he's gonna fight him in a sword fight, and then he drops it and runs away. Oh wait, no, that's the other guy, isn't it? Fuck, I fucked that up, didn't I? God damn it!
What was it? The dude from Saturday Night Live and shit. So the one that drops the sword and runs away.
I can't remember his name.
Aren't you thinking of Robin Hood, Men in Tights?
They're men. They're men in tights.
I don't know.
I don't remember. I haven't seen
Everything's so mushed together anymore.
Mush.
That movie's great. Fucking
It
Dave
is a good
Chappelle.
movie.
And after our action-packed intro, that leads us to meet our main characters of the movie, Andy Barclay and his mother.
Oh, great.
Going back, yes. And, going back and watching this, because I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I feel so bad for the mother.
She's the reason why it all happens, though. She's the Judd of this movie. Can we go ahead and just address this real quick? So, as Whitman and I have displayed before, a Judd of a movie is well like Judd and Pet Cemetery. The ones that know all the bad things that can happen, but still go through with it. It's their fucking fault it happens. Tommy Jarvis is another famous one. And while watching Child's Play last night, and after not watching it for a minute, it hit me. The mom is the Judd in this movie. Why is the mom the Judd in this movie? Well, she can't tell her kid no. She doesn't want to teach him that sometimes you can't always get what you fucking want. Hey, mommy's like kind of tight on fucking money, kid. No, she goes out and buys a bootleg from some homeless guy that has barely any of his teeth. I shouldn't fucking talk. But he's shady and sketchy as fuck. The box is all ripped up, whatever. And so she goes and gives it to Andy because she can't tell him. Sometimes you don't always get what you want. She is the Judd of this movie. Fuck her. She ruined that kid, damn it. It was her fault.
But wouldn't it be Andy because he has to have that doll? He's a
child. He wasn't told. No. He's not. He's a child. He doesn't. He's only known what he's been taught. He's been taught if he asks enough, he gets his fucking way. His mom never says no. She never says, well, no. She does what any parent will do. And if she tries her best to get it, but she can't. She knows she can't. But she never once fucking tells him like, I don't, I tried, but no. She doesn't try to explain to her kid, you can't always get what you want. And that being the fucking moral of it, it's what she wants, and he gets what he wants. And then, unfortunately, you got to be careful what you wish for. And in this case, your wish is a fucking midget with a knife.
And she's kind of an asshole. I mean, what kind of rib is that? Hey, happy birthday. He got a giant box, and it's got a handful of clothes. What kind of rib is that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say midget.
It was the exact same size box.
I didn't mean to say midget. I think that's a bad thing these days.
Oh, we're done.
My bad.
It's over.
Cancel. It's all my fault.
John Waters says it later in the series. So
true, he does. But that was also a long time ago.
That shit made me crack up.
But unfortunately,
we'll get to that later.
Unfortunately, though, there is an asshole that is actually playing Chucky through parts of this fucking movie. But whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Ed Gale.
And it's Ed Gale.
What's the story with Ed Gale?
Oh, you don't know.
You don't know the
sleep for like 6 years, 6 months.
He got. Well, one, Ed Gale. He played Chucky in the when the parts where there's a guy running around. That's him.
Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck, and a few other movies. Earlier this year or at the end of last year, he got busted straight up being a complete pedo, describing in horrible detail what he was planning on doing. And I already knew the guy was an asshole because he was kind of shitty to me one time. But I know a lot of people say he was a fucking dickhead, and I've been saying it forever that guy was a piece of shit. So surprised you don't know about all that.
I'm pretty
sure
you covered it on the news.
Did I?
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure I've brought it up.
Maybe with the subject matter, I just ignored the story.
Yeah, it's
I try
possible.
to.
And going back and watching that first Child's Play where he goes, I got a date with a 6-year-old boy. gives a whole new meaning to that scene.
You know, and also that leads me to, you know, the mother, Catherine, is it Catherine Hicks? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Okay. She just had, I mean, you think about like with the two movies, the two things that she is mainly known for. Okay. Child's Play 1 and Seventh Heaven. What look does she have of leading men in shows? Do you know about that one? Look it up. It's about as bad. But yeah, so the only person you feel bad for when it comes out of that is not her character, but the actual actress. What a fucking weird way to fucking like go into this.
Just diving right in.
Oh, and by the way,
positive things. We'll try to shift gears. You got to give props to the technical aspects of Chucky. Remember, this was back in the 80s, so this was no CGI bullshit here neither, folks.
Yeah, the animatronics was pretty fucking crazy.
You got to give props to the props, if you will.
Hey.
Didn't Kevin Yeager work on this?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I want to say he did. I think because didn't he hook up with Catherine Hicks? I remember that.
That sounds about right, actually.
Because I think she was engaged and they hooked up at some point during filming. I do remember that.
Like, hey, do Seventh Heaven. But yeah, the way one of my favorite things about this movie is when you see Chucky. I know we're skipping all over the place. We're going all over the place here, but when you actually see like his face turning into like, you know, it's all like all evil looking and shit. Like I still like I get almost chills every time when you watch that because you don't see that until like towards the end of the movie, and then when the mom actually sees him, like, oh look, this little doll he's a living asshole, and you know, not literally an asshole, but a living whatever. It just like you see that evil like in him.
Chris Yeager.
But
Chris Yeager.
Oh, okay. It was Yeager. Was that? Yeah, whatever. But
Yeager bomb.
Yeager bomb. Ugh. Bad memories. A lot of bad memories. Yeah, and honestly, in the shots that even when it is, you know, a scuzzy little pervert in a costume, you can't really tell. They do a really good job of making it seem like that's actually a fucking doll running around. Yeah, the movie was ahead of its time in a lot of ways. But yeah, I was just throwing out the way the face is when he turns sinister. I've always thought that was cool as fuck. He just looks.
They had two sets. They had the original set, then they had a set that was made like giant, so that way the scenes they had to use with Ed Gale would look right and be the right size of like the actual doll. So it looked whenever he like came down the fireplace and kicked the shit open, like they had like a special fireplace built and shit.
Yeah.
So everything looked like it was a spec.
Yeah, because if you make it like a regular dwarf, it's going to end up looking like fucking Garbage Pail Kids or some shit.
God, no. Don't go there.
I mean,
not again.
I love that film at one time.
If you made Chucky a little bit bigger, he would look like one of those fucking Garbage Pail Kids from the movie, for real.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. You know, this movie isn't as, I mean, of course it's an introduction of who Chucky is and all that shit. But, you know, this movie really isn't that
great.
It's not my favorite of the franchise at all. But it's got its pros and cons, and it's got some kills, but it doesn't really have any great kills. You know, like, woman falls out of a window.
Yeah, I think that was in every trailer and every TV spot that this movie ever put out. Was that scene with her falling out?
Did somebody tie a fucking anchor to her body? Because when she falls out of that building, she goes through that car like boom, like holy shit.
It was a good fall. It was.
Well, I mean, in real life, you know, there's no slow mo, so you know when a body falls at a great impact, you know.
Not at that kind of impact. Like if you go back and watch Lethal Weapon and you see that when that chick falls out of that building and goes to that car, that's justifiable because she falls from like 40 stories up. Like this chick was falling for like 4 stories up or something like that. I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah.
because as the movie goes on, we learn that the longer Chucky stays in the doll, the more human he becomes, and he'll be stuck in the doll forever.
Yeah.
And that was one thing I kind of wanted to see that voodoo guy a little bit more. What was his name? John?
The Voodoo Man.
Yeah, kind of. Well, Dr. Death, was that his name?
Did somebody say voodoo? Anyway,
Voodoo.
running from my magic. But yeah, no, I agree. I think they could have done a lot more with that. That would have made sense. I mean, that's why he even was able to be in that spot in the first place. It was because of voodoo. They could have definitely covered that more, which they do cover more later as the movies go. But yeah, this one's also like slow. It doesn't really have a very good pace.
Yeah, I said that earlier too.
You didn't need Dr. Death when you have Voodoo for Dummies in a book,
which is
true.
Yeah, I think Bride's my favorite still. I like Bride.
Oh, two's mine.
Oh,
That was that. I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that before I saw the first one.
Yeah, because I begged my dad to take me to go see the second one when it came out. So that one has just a special place in my heart.
Whenever I was 8 and I had a My Buddy toy, and that motherfucker went up in the attic. Every night I was like laying in bed and shit trying to go to sleep. I heard that little bastard running around. I swear.
But my mom hated my buddy doll. She swears that it ended up in different parts of the house when I was in school. She hated that thing. I think it ended up in the closet at one point too. But like after getting a sneak peek of Child's Play 2, I didn't really want it around anyway. Actually, in all honesty, I don't like creepy little dolls in my vicinity when I'm sleeping. It creeps me the fuck out. And I would safe to say I'd say Chucky probably has something to do with that. But no, two came on right after it was Puppet Master 2 and Child's Play 2 on a double feature. It was like a Saturday night or a Saturday afternoon on USA, and like both of those are like favorites of the franchise because of that.
Right.
I decided to give it a haircut.
Just a little off the top. What the fuck happened to your hair?
So they gave it the bride cut.
Nice. Yeah, let's get through this first one because I kind of want to talk about the sequels too.
I do too.
So one thing I questioned was how Chucky got into the mental ward to get Andy. And it turns out there was a cut scene. Remember that girl that the mother was talking to in the hallway of the hospital?
Yeah.
Well, apparently Chucky tricked her into bringing him into the psych ward. That's how he got in there. But anyway, young Alex Vincent, that part where he has his little breakdown I thought was really good. I wonder if that's the scene that got him the job. He has that little breakdown where he starts to cry.
Yeah.
I felt it right here, man. I felt it right. Just here.
Just touch your brother's heart.
But yeah, no, the first one, it's got some creepy moments, whatever. But it's one of the weakest ones out of the franchise. But it's definitely a good one. I mean, to watch. It has rewatchability to it, but it is a little slower paced than I would have preferred, which is why the second one is so much better.
It's tough to hate on the first one because it's the introduction of Chucky, so it's
True.
like the classic. But at the same time, like you said, it's more psychological than anything, because it plays on those fears that people have. Of, like you said, a lot of people hate creepy dolls or just dolls in general, and the fact that especially back in the 80s when you had Cabbage Patch Kids being a big thing, the My Buddy doll, which Chucky looks almost identical. Chucky's like the redheaded stepchild,
literally
version of My Buddy. Those things were the craze during the 80s, and it's Don Mancini's genius that took these ideas and based it off of those things, and also the Twilight Zone. Back in the day, there was a episode of Twilight Zone. It was called Living Doll.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was the girl had a doll called Talkie Tina, and that was pretty much the inspiration, one of the inspirations for the Chucky series, from Don Mancini. So
I remember that episode very well. Actually, I've got it. I back in the Columbia House days. I got a bunch of those big VHS boxes that has like the little opening thing on it. Yeah. That was actually one of my favorite episodes. The creepy idea of the creepy idea of having a doll that just won't go away, terrifying. Enough for Twilight Zone, and then they came up with this shit.
Like the original script and like the original doll just sounded fucking weird because it was called, what was it, Bloody Buddy or Blood Buddy, something like that. And like it's a doll that would bleed and you have to fucking give first aid to.
That's right.
It's like, what the fuck kind of weird shit is this? I mean, they have dolls that pee and shit, but it didn't fucking make any sense. So whenever they switched it around like this and did this idea instead, it was a lot better. I don't think this movie would have had the same effect if it was a fucking Blood Buddy.
They even mentioned that in part 2. Whenever Kyle gets pulled over by the cop, and the cop's like, "Is that blood coming out of it?" She's like, "Oh yeah, you've seen dolls that pee. This one bleeds." Like, what kind of fucking toy is that?
Right. But it's fucking goofy. And like after going back and watching it again, though, like people that put this fucking movie on their like Mount Rushmore of horror, like I do not agree. I don't know. Especially because we've been on Horror with Sir Sturdy the past month, and he's just doing Nightmare and Friday, and then just going back and watching Texas Chainsaw and shit. I'm like, fuck no. He does not belong.
No, I think that Chucky has his place, but I don't. I have a lot of respect for the first film. I have a lot of respect for the franchise. But the first one just isn't. It's not anything special. I mean, we've seen. I mean, it was done well. It was very well made. But we've seen the killer. Yeah, but we've seen the killer doll thing 1,000 times, and it's he's probably the most notable one next to Puppet Master. Yeah. Nothing spectacular, but it's a decent watch regardless.
Yeah, for sure. It was heavily praised for its technical achievements, and the film critics at the time, Roger Ebert and Leonard Moulton, both gave it 3 out of 4 stars, praising the technical achievements of the film. So it did get a lot of praise when it came out.
Yeah.
It also got hated on a lot too. I think there was protesters outside MGM Studios once upon a time. Yeah, cancel culture is nothing new, folks. It's been around a long, long time.
They might still be there.
They might still be.
All right.
Maybe
They're
we
raising
should check
kids on that corner.
And it was the highest grossing movie at the time that United Artists had, right behind Rain Man. So
Interesting.
Yeah, old United Artists. They every now and then they put out a pretty big hit. So every now and then. I think they sold the rights between the first and second one, because I know Universal did the second one, and I think Universal had it for a while. Then MGM bought it back or some shit.
Budget was between 9 and 13 mil. Box office is 44 mil. It's a good day.
Yeah,
it's a good day.
Nice little turnaround.
I mean, Chucky's he's more popular now than he ever has been because of the show. Which we'll get onto that. Whatever. Can we move on to the second one now?
Yes, definitely. One of my favorites.
Before we do,
okay,
I do just want to say this fucking movie is like there's so much goofy shit happens. Like I was talking to Dave earlier, like fucking Chucky tells Mike whenever the car's upside down that he can't kill him or can't hurt him, but he just fucking like screamed like a little girl whenever he melted his face with a cigarette lighter. And then whenever I was watching it too, like Mike must be fucking like the weakest cop ever, because he gets stabbed in the leg and hit with the bat. Then he's on the floor for the next fucking 30 minutes.
He was out of it for the rest of the
And then they finally kill Chucky, and then next thing you know, he's out for like another 20 minutes, and then he comes to again, and somehow he knows Chucky's in pieces out in the hallway. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you haven't done anything in an hour, dude. Like, why you just fucking know everything?
Yeah, there's a lot of things in the whole series that you got to kind of just be like,
Right, I mean, we got a killer doll, so I mean,
and that's why I think from Bride on they were just like, you know what, fuck it, let's just
have fun with it.
Go with it. And that was the way to go.
It really was.
Yeah, but Are we moving on to 2?
So let's play 2.
Okay. 2, I think everything about this movie is perfect. The way they brought him back, the whole idea that Andy's mom's been, he's been removed from his mother, and now he is like being moved around in foster homes, and he finds his way with this nice couple who have another foster child. That
I had a big crush on her too. Still do.
Oh yeah. My mom actually got an autographed picture of her for me last year at Scarefest.
So I said, "How you do?"
How
Shout
you doing? Yeah, I know.
Christina
Kyle.
Lee.
Yeah. I'll always remember the stupid joke Andy says to her. I can say your name backwards, and then he turns around and says her name. Like, you know how many times like I've done that being cute as a kid? I do that now. It's not as cool. Like, I'm not really. I just look like an asshole, and I have done it as an adult. But no, like, them bring, he gets in this situation with Kyle is like the older foster kid, and these nice people, and they're a little strict on him because of everything that happened, and they think that, well, the dad's like, well, this kid's just a nut, he still has a doll and all this shit, and Chucky keeps doing things to get Andy blamed for everything, and then it just gets when it starts coming out more that Andy's not crazy, because like because the scene where which I always thought for some reason as a kid it was one of my favorite scenes, when Andy's at school and he's in trouble, and Chucky is waiting in the closet in the classroom, and that old raggedy bitch walks over there and opens up.
Name?
I can't remember what her name was.
He says it a couple times too.
Yeah,
when he comes out with a big yardstick.
Well, because he stabs her. He stabs her with was it a ball pump or something like that at first?
Yeah.
And like I don't know, like there was something about it because just like, yeah, she's such a bitch, and she's being so mean to that kid, and it's like, that you're getting ready to see what you want to see. It's like every kid's dream to see like a shitty ass teacher get completely fucking mauled down by a killer doll. Maybe that's not specifically what kids want, but you know what I mean. But I always enjoyed that scene, and then the scene when Chucky kills the foster dad by tripping him. Yeah, Phil. Hey, Phil. Sorry, Chuck. Yeah. Sorry, Chuck. Or was it sorry, Phil, Chucky, or whatever the fuck he says.
Bud from Chud. Yep.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that guy was in a lot of shit actually, and he usually always plays a bad guy. And I remember when I first saw this, I'm trying to think of the movie that he was in that I saw before this one, where he played a complete asshole, and I was like, oh, it's that guy. But I can't think of what it was.
Garrett Graham is his name.
Okay, that doesn't help me. But now I know his name.
Know the face, but not the...
Yeah.
It's another one of those.
But, like, he dies, and then it's like this whole big thing and all that shit or whatever. And they come and they take Andy back and all that. But then, like, when the mom dies, when the foster mom dies, and when Kyle starts realizing shit's starting to seem weird, and then she finds her, for some reason that always creeped me out. When she's all like, she turns around like the sewing machine's going, and she's just like she's all like turning blue and throat slit or whatever, and she's like strangled. I don't know. It's a really fucked up image. But like I don't know. That's one of my favorite deaths in that one. But then you also had the woman at the foster home who gets killed, and her face gets faxed or gets copied while she's being killed. I mean, it's pretty kind of funny, The two also kind of brought in some of the humor, but it was a little more splattery, and I was enjoying that. Sorry, I'm going on and on.
You're good. No, they definitely up the kills, but I think my favorite one is the teacher. And I had like the comic books. They had a comic book series of the movie. It was like 3 issues, and on the cover of the second issue was him with the yardstick.
Oh yeah,
I always used to draw that as a kid. And
but
when Kyle's on the swing set, like kicking up the dirt, then you always used to do that when you were on a swing set as a kid.
Yep. Yep.
Just looking down, waiting to find a good guy doll. I know.
What's
Oh.
this?
I'm
But I
Tommy.
mean, but how the fuck does he beat her to death with that yardstick? Like,
I think it would break, right?
well, anybody that has ever had one of those yardsticks has hit somebody with it, and
Yeah,
you know
and it
those
breaks.
things break easy. So
Uh-huh.
I always thought that he should have like beat her with it, and whenever it broke, then just like
Stab her.
stabbed her. Yeah, that would have made more sense to me. Like I was like, there's no way this thing's not broken. But
They
that's
kind
still
of didn't they kind of go with the what I call the silver bullet wolf kill shot, where you just see the hand, going, but like
Yeah,
didn't they just have it was just the yardstick top just like
just
swinging down?
Yeah, you don't even see the gore.
Yeah, like she probably has some nasty whelps on her, but they could have done more with that one, yeah. But I always thought that was kind of a funny one though.
I always like that one, too.
Whenever this movie started, I was sitting here watching it the other night, and as soon as it came on, I just started fucking cracking up laughing. Because I remember the fact that they take this fucking doll that just killed a bunch of people, and then they're like, hey, we should refurbish this fucking thing.
Allegedly. That was a crazy little boy and his crazy mother.
Right. And even
These
though there
things
was
are
two
fine.
cops there that seen the same shit. So somehow she's bonkers now. Because no one could back up her story but a kid. But they refurbished this fucking doll that supposedly killed all these people and figured it was a good idea to redo it and make a new doll out of it.
Of course.
And I was like, what the fuck? Who would do that?
Well, it was so popular originally. They were like, "There's no way this would happen again."
Right. There's already like 2,000 dolls in the fucking factory anyway. They don't need to redo that one.
Right? Is this the one that? Because I get confused with the opening of this one and 3. Is this the one where the guy he puts he puts the bag over the guy's head? Yeah. I always thought that was kind of brutal. There were some brutal scenes in this movie. Anytime that somebody gets suffocated to death or whatever, it's kind of it's always kind of a brutal thing. The faces when they're breathing in, it's just breathing in them. Yeah, I'm sounding really creepy right now. But
got his hands tied behind his back with a jump rope.
Like it's pretty torturous, For some reason, I always like that one too, that kill too, just because it is like I don't know, more personal kills are the more brutal kills. It shows the brutality, and this movie definitely showed how brutal Charles Lee Ray could be.
And then our big finale inside the toy store.
One of the greatest things.
At the factory or whatever.
Factory.
Yeah.
That great part where he puts the knife in jams the knife blade in
his hand.
What was this motion? I don't know.
I mean,
he jerked off his own hand. Is that what he did, Dave?
I hate when that happens. As a kid, every kid loves the no shit.
Slow motion.
As a kid, I was always, like pirates and shit. I always thought hooks were always cool and all that.
Arr!
So yeah, like the knife going into the thing was always kind of a cool little addition to that. I think that's one of my favorite endings in the franchise is that whole big factory scene. And then man, Chucky gets so fucked up in that ending. God, I mean he's up there with Michael Myers has been like shot, stabbed, blown up, killed, all that, all those different ways. Jason, Chucky's gotten it pretty bad too. I mean, he's been melted together. He's been caught on fire, blown up, shot, stabbed, melted together. He's had it pretty rough. I'd be pretty bitter about it too. But this, he's just so grotesque at the end of it, how molded together he is and shit. Like, I don't know, there's something about it, just kind of just like, ugh. Like he's just like crawling after him. Like everything about that scene is like just terrifying. The idea of like they're underneath the machine and they move right right before it comes down to put the eyes in and all that shit. Like I don't know. It's very nerve wracking, that scene is. It's one of those like really like gets you kind of excited. I mean, I'm so excited talking about it. Imagine when I watch it. It's ridiculous.
I always like the kill where the guy goes the operator goes in and he's trying to fix it because all the belt has stopped or whatever, and then he gets knocked down and the eyes go into his eye sockets and kill him. I always thought
that's probably one of my favorite parts.
That's my favorite one too. Yeah, that whole finale I thought was one of the best. was one of my favorite ones.
I feel like with part 2, if you combine the first and second one, it would probably be an ideal movie, because it's like you got the elements, the kind of more horror psychological stuff from the first one, but you got the brutality of the second one. So if you can kind of combine those two, that would kind of make Chucky into what he is supposed to be.
I'd be okay with that if it was edited the right way.
Yeah, because whenever I go back and watch the first one, I almost feel like it would have been interesting to see how it played out as a film if they would have not gave you the explanation at the beginning where this kid gets its doll for his birthday and then all this fucked up shit starts happening and you think to yourself, is it the doll or is it him? Because he's saying it's the doll, or is this kid really crazy? And then I've always felt like if you redid it somehow and made a movie where you weren't really sure what was going on until later, then it would make it a little bit more interesting. As far as the psychological.
One of the original scripts for the first one was like that, where because we as the audience knew it was Chucky, but one of the earlier drafts of the script, it was kind of a whodunit where we didn't know if it was the kid or if it was Chucky.
Yeah, I think if I think if you did that the right way, it would turn out pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. But like I said, if you combine those two, the first and the second one, the best parts of them, and make one film, I think that would be the better scenario.
More Kyle.
Yeah. That was one thing I had a problem with the third one, is we didn't get her at all. But I don't know if we're on the third one yet or not. But
I had a problem with the replacement Andy.
I used to drive me crazy when I was a kid, especially when they would recast people, especially the leads. It fucking drove me nuts. I hated that shit. That's why I think it was a while before I saw the third one. And that kid's another one where I know the face, but I don't know the name of the actor.
Yeah, because he's been in a lot of stuff, but I can't place what else he's been in.
Like Parker Lewis Can't Lose or something?
Well, no. I don't know.
Justin Whalen?
Growing Pains? Wasn't he Boner? No, he
was in Serial Mom.
Oh, yeah. He was fucking Matthew Lillard's friend.
Yeah, I feel like he did a bunch of stuff. I feel like he did do a bunch of TV, but I can't think of. I don't know. I know the face, but I don't know the
bunch of weirdo movies.
Yeah, the third one I always felt like, I don't know. I've always been back and forth with it. It's like I remember as a kid, I kind of
gotcha. I think that's what I'm thinking of too.
Okay, yeah.
We're all just like,
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, thanks, bro. Yeah, no, the third one though, like I never knew how I felt about like it being like a boot camp or whatever. Which I guess it makes sense given how this poor kid's life has just kind of been going. Why wouldn't he get sent to a boot camp? I mean, nobody has sympathy for this kid at all. Nobody.
I do.
This poor, like, well, I mean, of course, as the audience we do, but I mean, like in these movies, everybody's just shitty to this poor kid. They're like, that kid, he dealt with all these murders. He got taken from his mom. I'm going to be an asshole to him. Well, giving out kind of a bad message, so you think there, bud? But because I kind of hate the attitude, the whole like, I hate that bullshit. So that kind of was always, an issue for me about the third one.
I'm still hung up on Jimmy Olsen. Because whenever I hear that name, what pops into my head is Grandpa from House of a Thousand Corpses, where he's like, "What are you, Jimmy Olsen? Jimmy Olsen, come report for the Daily Asshole." I don't know. That line always cracks me up. So whenever I hear Jimmy Olsen, that's immediately my go-to. Anyway, continue. Sidebar.
But yeah, no, this one it's got some interesting moments in it. Fucking duder that played oh hell, that's horrible.
Oh hell,
the dad from Hellraiser. He's the barber shop guy at the boot camp. He gets his throat slit, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember the guy that got trapped in the garbage truck.
Mm-hmm. That was pretty clever, Chucky, on that one. I was kind of like that one a little bit. You felt bad. You kind of felt bad for the dude, but
I like how he gave him real ammo.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that was fun.
What are you doing, Barkley? I hated that fucking guy. Oh my god, what was his fucking name? Biff or some shit? Like he just like, hey, Barkley, because I went to school with that asshole. You know what I mean?
I think we all did.
Oh man, that is the guy that it's like, you know, like it's like, where on you did your uncle touch you? Why are you so angry at everyone? Like just that kind of like the tough guy bullshit. Just never like he's a great villain in the movie because you fucking hate him the whole time. Mm-hmm. So good on him for that. But he is one that every time I watch that movie, I just wish I could just reach in and strangle him. You know what I mean? But it was kind of interesting. They brought in another kid when Chucky was like, "Oh, he's too old," and it's like, well, Ed Gill wasn't playing him then. But you know, like so to bring another kid to be convinced that
it's making me
a weird episode. Show on the Chucky, never mind. You know, like the going through the whole thing of explaining to the kid that Chucky is he's bad and all this stuff. Like, yeah, it was kind of an interesting take on it. I thought they could have done more with it than the boot camp thing, though. That was my least favorite thing about that movie. Was it was in a boot camp.
Yeah. Just cashing in.
Yeah. If I'm watching the series, I usually skip the third one. I'll be honest. I usually don't. I just pass the third one by.
It's not one I watch a lot, no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the barber was Andrew Robinson. That's who you were thinking of.
Andrew Robinson.
Hellraiser. And oddly enough, he's fucking Scorpio killer in fucking Dirty Harry.
Yep.
And he's the detective in Cobra.
Yep.
Yeah.
It all ties. It all ties.
It all ties together.
World. Small world.
Something. Yeah.
Small wonder.
Kevin Bacon thing.
Small wonder.
So after the third one, are we done with the third one?
Yes.
I don't have a lot to say about the third one.
Barkley.
So Chucky took a break for a little while and then came back in 1998 with my personal favorite of the series, Bride of Chucky.
Good one. Good soundtrack too.
Oh, great! Yeah. And another great intro. And Jennifer Tilly.
I always loved her. I still think she's an attractive woman. There's just something about her. I briefly dated a girl who reminded me of her, but like in like a white trash sense. Like this was years ago. You know, it was in my early 20s.
What's her name?
I'm not giving out her name. But that's for an After Dark episode.
John Ritter, my favorite.
I was gonna say, John Ritter was a good addition to it. I've always loved John Ritter. His death in the movie is pretty brutal too. It's probably one of my favorite deaths. All the nails to the face and shit.
But he didn't die from that. He didn't die from that. If you recall.
I don't. It's been a minute since I've watched it.
Yeah, because he got all the nails in the face, and then they hide him away, and then he pops back up later on, and they got to kill him.
Yeah, he's in the trunk of the van.
Yeah,
you're right. Okay, I totally forgot about that. But
I always thought it was funny because whenever he gets all the nails in the face, and Chucky's like, "Oh, that looks familiar," because obviously you think of Pinhead.
Yeah. Oh, he does make a Hellraiser reference there, doesn't he?
He makes references to a lot of different, again, it's Don Mancini's writing that, he gives these shout outs to the other franchises and everything like that.
In the intro, in all those evidence lockers, we see a hockey mask, we see the chainsaw, we see, I think even Michael Myers' mask, Freddy glove, all that little stuff in there. It just makes the movie. Mm-hmm.
Even when you get to the seat of Chucky, whenever he's coming through the door, and that homage to The Shining, and he's like, I don't know what I should say here, or whatever the line is. He's like, you're expecting him to put his face through and be like, here's Chucky, but he didn't do it.
Right. Well, it's like the Bride of Chucky was also the reinvention, part. Just like Jason Lives was the reinvention of a character. And this one made Chucky a little funnier because he cracks you up. This movie's funny. After a certain point, these movies just become hilarious, and then you get to curse, but whatever. But Bride was interesting to have. How would Chucky act with a girlfriend? And it's Jennifer Tilly. It's perfect. It's so perfect. Like it's an interesting balance. How else do you reinvent a killer, doll, film franchise? You give him. I mean, you give him the Bride, just like the Bride of Frankenstein. Yeah. And in this case, it's entertaining as fuck. I do enjoy this one quite a bit. It's very fun.
It gives the Chucky somebody to play off of, because you can't have, if you're going to introduce the comedy stuff to it, I mean, you're going to have like clever one-liners and stuff like that. But if you have somebody that's equally fucked up and they can joke back and forth about these sorts of things, then you got the comedy duo, as opposed to Chucky making some kind of fucked up joke and all the normal people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're crazy. It's like, it's not funny to them. So it doesn't land as well. But when you have Tiffany, you have a comedic duo in a sense.
Yeah.
And you add the effect of they were former lovers and everything like that. So they can play off each other really well.
Oh, completely.
Yeah. And they go back, we get the whole backstory. They acknowledge the other movies. And what's so funny? We're all in weird moods tonight. We see like the newspaper clippings and her trailer and all those things. And her death scene in the bathtub was actually, I saw it was originally supposed to be the death scene from the babysitters in the first one before they changed it to her getting knocked out the window. So it's just fun little references like that. Yeah, Bride of Chucky is my favorite.
And she's watching Bride of Frankenstein whenever.
Oh, that's right. She had it on the TV.
Gets knocked in the tub.
Very touching.
Is it?
And when the one guy gets hit by the bus or the car on the highway or whatever and just splatters.
Is this
splatters?
Katherine Heigl? Is that?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I've almost forgot about that. This was like one of her first movies.
Mm-hmm.
The acting is so bad as far as her. She's Jade, and the guy's name's Jesse and Jade, and they're trying to make the whole concept of Mickey and Mallory and all this. I always wondered. I was like, is this acting really that bad, or did they tell them to act this way? Because I was like, they're the worst part of the film, in my opinion. Everything else is great.
I would think they told them that. I would think. I don't know.
How everything plays out in the movie is pretty fun.
Oh, I forgot about. Oh yeah, the boyfriend. That was a good little scene.
That's what I've been thinking about.
But the fucking goth dude that's trying to act like he's more. Oh yeah, but and then he takes pictures of like him dead, and she ends up discovering he's all full of shit. But yeah, he always irritated the fuck out of me. So I kind of like the fact that he gets killed like the first little bit of this movie. Rest in peace. He's actually dead in real life, but it wasn't from that. So I'm not being a dick, but that character is
for Chucky to kill her.
Yeah.
I like how she has Chucky in a fucking playpen, all locked up.
Oh, that's another shout out, because it's whenever he's sitting on top of Alexis Arquette and he does the head spin like extras.
Yeah.
You'll pick up all these little things from other genre or franchises that they incorporate, and I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they were just like, it was a reinvention, and they were just like, fuck it, we're gonna go in this direction, and it worked.
Yeah,
you can't, it's still they're still going in this direction now with the TV show that I guess we'll get to here later, which I still haven't watched, by the way. So you're gonna have to help me out with
that. What are you waiting for, David?
He watches nothing.
Yeah, Mancini is amazing. I can't say enough good things about Don Mancini. He made this franchise into something amazing. I don't think he gets enough credit in the whole horror genre, as opposed to a lot of other people.
True.
He definitely deserves it.
He does from us, but like, yeah, I think like overall he kind of gets looked over, and I don't understand why. I think he's a great writer. He's a visionary, if you will.
I'll be honest. I gave up on this franchise a long time ago. As far as no, for real. Whenever I saw him, whenever I was younger, I can't remember which one I saw first, but I was just never. This never did anything for me. I was one of those people where I was like, "It's a fucking doll. Just fucking throw it. Just do something." It's not scary to me. So I wrote this franchise off a long time ago, where I was just not about it. I never had any dolls. I never had the My Buddy. I didn't have anything like that. So I didn't relate. I had action figures. So I can't be like, like
I
Chad,
had action figures too, buddy. Don't you start saying nothing about because I had My Buddy doll with you fucking
there's nothing wrong with that. I just couldn't relate. I could, like Chad was saying, his doll, and after he saw this film, he had to take that My Buddy and fucking put it in the attic or whatever because it would fuck with him. So I didn't have that sort of thing, so I can't be like, oh yeah, my doll was creeping me out. I didn't have that. So I just wrote this franchise off a long time ago.
We'll see.
And the thing was, I didn't even watch the anything after the third one until a couple years ago, and it was the TV series that brought me to it because like I said, I gave up on the franchise, but then they started showing the TV show after I think it was after Monday Night Raw on USA. So after I'd watch wrestling, it would just be on the TV, and I'd leave it on, and I started watching it. I was like, this is pretty. I was like, from what I remember, I didn't really like Child's Play, but I like this Chucky show. It's interesting. So then it made me think, and I went back and ended up watching. And after I revisited the first films and I saw Bride of Chucky and Seed and everything, Curse, Cult, whatever, I was like, I really enjoy the second, not really trilogy, but, as far as Bride and Seed go, I really enjoy these films a lot. Out of this franchise, those are probably the best ones in my opinion. So
nice.
The TV show, it just gave me a kind of a reinvigorated look at the franchise as a whole. So like I said, going back, when I was a kid, I was like, this doesn't do anything for me. But going back and watching it now and everything, it's kind of changed my outlook.
All right. And going back to like, okay, it's like, a doll, kick him, whatever the fuck. But you got to also remember, it's a doll that has like strength of a man. So he still puts in all that, so he still has a little oomph. Sometimes.
I feel like sometimes he has the strength and other times he doesn't. And I feel like it's a running gag that, Charles Lee Ray was the Lakeshore Strangler. And now, because he's trapped in a doll's body, his hands are so small that he can't strangle anybody anymore. he has to use weapons and everything like that. He can't get his hands around somebody's neck to strangle them. So
that is true.
I feel like that's a running gag, but maybe I'm just projecting.
So, Living with Chucky, has anybody seen that?
No, I saw his comment. I'd like to actually check that out.
All right.
I saw it whenever I was like looking up shit about Chucky.
Nice. Bride's it's a good one.
It's fun.
I think we could all agree it's a fun movie. It really is. I've watched it. I watched it a few times the last few years. I just haven't watched it in a minute. But it's always a fun one to watch. I don't ever complain about it.
It's been a while since I've seen that one.
Yeah, I did watch that one again.
I like the kill when they're in the honeymoon suite and the other couple came in and tried to steal their shit. And then Tiffany takes the champagne bottle and goes into the room and throws it up into the mirror that's above the bed. Mm-hmm. And the mirror comes down. It's funny because the mirror breaks and it comes down and it just happens to land the exact way enough to kill these people. And the water bed like explodes. It reminds me of in the first film whenever she lands on the car. It's just so exaggerated how they die, but it's funny. It's amusing.
That's what makes it good.
Yeah.
Seed though, the scene I remember from Seed of Chucky is that part when Glenn is running down the street. Because we went to go see that and we were fucking dying. That shit
Yeah.
I
That
can't
movie
even
shocked me.
describe it. I can't do it justice.
That shit was so goofy. It looked like Team America shit. And my favorite line in
completely.
that movie too was whenever like fucking Chucky and Tiffany are arguing, and he's like, "Will you stop? You're tearing me apart." And then he starts wearing dresses and shit. Turns into Glenda.
Well, I here you go again. You've got the new element to kind of spice some things up and kind of give it, a little bit more of a comedic value because now he's got a family. How would Chucky do with a kid? He doesn't do very good having a girlfriend either. So you can only imagine. I do like to see the Chucky. It gets shit on a lot because I think it's a fun one too. It's like because Chucky goes because they really do go through like what families go through. You know what I mean? It's like they have a kid now, so Tiffany's like, "Well, I don't know if I want to kill anymore, Chucky," and he's like, "What?" And and they go through the with the kid different issues that parents have with certain things, and Chucky reacts the way you figure Chucky would react. And then you end up getting this fucked up, sinister Jekyll Hyde thing from Glenn and Glenda that I always thought was like kind of crazy, but like I always liked it. I thought it was cool. And John Waters makes an appearance in this one, and his death's pretty gory.
Dude,
and they also
John
kill Britney Spears.
Shout out to John Waters, man. He's fucking awesome. Baltimore native, he's from here in Maryland, and he just got his star on the Walk of Fame. So
they did.
So
nice.
well deserved. But yeah, he's great in this film. He has the fucking shitty tabloid reporter guy that's falling around. Everything cracks me up. Like after Jennifer Tilly finds the body and like all the paparazzi and everything are descending on her, the news people are trying to get the story, and she's like, what do you want me to do, draw a picture for you? And John Waters like, somebody get her a pen and paper, please. Like he really wants her to draw a fucking picture. But then I even mentioned earlier, the part that cracks me up is he sneaks onto Jennifer Tilly's property because he's trying to get the scoop about her and Redman, and fucking Tiffany hits her with the champagne bottle because they never drink the loaded champagne. And she goes down and her head goes down in Redman's lap. And like John Waters is snapping off the paparazzi pictures. And he's like loving it. He's like, oh, this is great shit. And then he glances over and he sees a shadow in the one room. And he turns towards it. He's like, masturbating midget? Like,
God bless the little people.
He is so happy to see this. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And he's just popping off. He really thinks it's like some dwarf that's jerking off and he's just snapping pictures. like no, I don't know. It's so fucking weird, but he's awesome.
Was this the one, was it this one or Bride, where Tiffany and Chucky are getting ready to have sex and she's like, should we wear rubber? And he's like, I'm made of rubber.
That was Bride.
Was that Bride? Okay.
We just glossed over that.
Because that's how Gigi is created.
Yeah. Yeah. This movie's got, like, they go completely nuts when it comes down to the storyline and the humor. I mean, just the Jennifer Tilly Redman thing alone is ridiculous. For those that aren't familiar, rapper Redman's in it, and he's doing this whole weird religious
casting call
thing. Jennifer Tilly really wants it, and so she pretty much is like whoring herself out to Redman, and Jennifer, Tiffany and Chucky think it's a good idea to take their bodies, and that goes awry. But like, don't they gut, like, don't they like disembowel Redman? And it doesn't just
at the dinner table, because that's where Tiffany slips. She relapsed. She fell off the wagon. And Jennifer Tilly wants to be the Virgin Mary in Redman's film.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Dude, fucking Redman cracks me up, dude. If you've never seen How High, you need to go and see that because it's fucking comedy gold, man. Him and Method Man.
Redman gets gutted.
I have a Cypress Hill thing behind me. Yes, I've seen Hawaii a couple of times.
Oh, that movie.
That's a good one. We won't talk about the sequel.
Redman should be doing more comedies, man. Fuck, he's so good.
Redman should be.
He's hilarious.
I mean, Method Man's doing like serious acting work these days too.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was one thing when I watched this movie, like the whole premise of it, I was like, oh, okay, this is going by how I figured it was going. Because I didn't know, I was like, well, is it going to be? Because I knew it was going to be cheesy for what it was, the seed of Chucky, especially like the trailer, what it was, and you know it's going to be goofy and all that, and it's like, okay, was this going to be a splatterfest or this is going to be a mess? And it's a little bit of both, and I'm okay with it. It's underrated.
The opening like intro like shows you like what kind of movie it's going to be whenever they're showing the demon Chucky's flowing down the seed, like going down the tunnel.
Another great intro.
Yeah, because in Bride she has
shit.
In Bride she has the kid. You know, that's the end, the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It comes out and attacks the cop, and it's like like they just had sex like what, a day ago, and she's already given birth. And you see this in this film where they they fucking impregnate Jennifer Tilly. It's
with the
so
fucking turkey baster.
Yeah, it's so contrived. Oh my god, this whole franchise, dude, it's fucking it cracks me up.
Yeah. And
then she's like got a belly like the next day, like she's like 9 months due. Like, oh.
It's that satanic super sperm.
The super sperm.
I'd say that 5 times.
One scene that fucking kills me in this too is Chucky's expression whenever Glenn pisses his pants.
Pissed his pants.
He's just like.
I think it's kind of funny when Gigi can't figure out if he's a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, and then they take his pants down. And he's just like, huh? Like, I don't know. That whole reaction.
Nothing there.
Yeah, it's just.
It was Chucky says something like, "Oh, he just hasn't developed yet."
Yeah. But it is great, like, you know, because like I said, like, because Tiffany's like calling in hotlines, like, you know, because she doesn't want to kill, so she's trying to like talk somebody to talk her down from it or whatever. While Chucky is sneaking off with Glenn and trying to get him to kill, and right before John Waters dies, I'm pretty sure is the Britney Spears thing, which I thought was so ridiculous. I don't know. I still don't know what the joke was or why they put that in there, but
just because they wanted to kill Britney Spears, you know, it's one of those things.
This was 2004 Britney Spears, so.
I mean, they were doing some TV show, like they were like actually like mechanical puppets. Like they had like the chargers and shit on the back of them and everything.
Yeah, they were making a movie about it.
Yeah,
because Jennifer Tilly was playing Tiffany. It's weird how those two look so much alike.
Yeah, I never get it.
Weird.
Strange.
Well, there was 2 more after that. Curse of Chucky and Cult of Chucky. By the look on your face, you don't want to talk about that.
I like Curse. I think Curse was I think it was another. It was kind of taking it back to like Chucky being a little more sinister. I think he was he was evil. He was evil again. He wasn't cracking as many jokes. It was, and just the movie itself just looks dark and just looks grim and just, you know, and I think it's really good. I thought it was cool that, you know, that's where his daughter, you know, first came about being in these movies, and that whole plot is pretty good, because I mean,
the white trash chick,
the white trash one.
Yeah. What was her name? I can't remember. What did you say her name was?
I'm not giving the name. I highly doubt that chick is watching right now, but if so, you know who you are.
Shout out to white trash Jennifer Lilly.
Tilly, not Lily.
Jennifer Lilly.
That's the Walmart version of Jennifer.
And if we keep going, it's going to be Jennifer Silly.
Ridiculous.
But no, I agree. Curse, brings it back to that horror feel. Like you said, it's darker, the aesthetic, it's more focused on the killing than the comedy, and it's kind of jump scares and stuff like that. So it's definitely they shift gears with this one.
Yeah, I'm glad they did. I really, because even down to how the kills happen, they're back to being kind of like, again, sinister. You think that Chucky is going to end up poisoning this girl, the little girl. He ends up poisoning the priest, which was great. I mean, because that guy just got it in the double. I mean, he's poisoned, then he gets like beheaded. Like, what the fuck? The weird story plot, but with the bitchy aunt and her really her overly nice husband and the nanny who she's secretly with, and then the whole electrocution scene's pretty cool. Like, yeah, I was going somewhere else. I know. I like the flashbacks in this one.
Yeah. Where
you find out that Chucky is the reason why she's in a wheelchair.
Yep.
And it's like, ooh, that's a weird wraparound. Like, all right.
Because that's what you're thinking. Once this film starts up, you're like, why the fuck is Chucky being delivered to these people?
Yeah.
What's the tie-in? And then you find out. Because it kind of it feels like it strays from the original, but it doesn't. That's another great thing about this franchise, is that everything is linear. It's all pieced together. They all, there is no kind of stray bullet or whatever, and I dig that too.
Yeah.
Especially with, the TV series.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get to the TV series.
Yeah, I like how, they can't go too much more silly than what they did in Seed, so it was good they gave them a little bit of a break and then brought it back. So
yeah. Are we all fans of Curse? Like, do all of us?
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it, but I don't know. I like it, but I don't love it.
He doesn't want more of it, but he tries so hard. Never mind. So yeah, I know. I don't know what happens. Whatever. It's like a tick with me. Yeah, I think we actually really know the root of what it is, but whatever. But yeah, no. When I first watched Curse, I was really kind of weird about it, but I was okay with the fact that Brad was coming back as the voice.
Yeah.
Even playing a younger version of himself.
They don't want you singing any country music.
Right. Well, you haven't heard my country music.
Do you have a cowboy hat?
No.
You had to think about it.
I used to have a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
But no, because I kind of went into it with pretty high hopes. I was like, well, it can't be horrible. And it's not. Curse is a good one. Cult, not a huge fan of that one, though. I thought that one was overkill. Ha! You're going to come for me? That's gross, dude.
Hey.
Canceled.
Yeah, Cult doesn't, is another weak link in the chain, in my opinion.
Yeah, I saw what they were trying to do, and I don't know. Part of the creep factor of Chucky is the fact of
Jennifer Chilling.
Oh Jesus. But part of the creep factor of Chucky is the fact that it's just him, and then okay, they added Tiffany, and that's okay. That worked out. But having Chucky be able to multiply like the pieces of him over and over again, it's just like, what are you?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's getting a little far-fetched whenever you can split souls and do all this crazy shit. It's like, okay, he can go into anybody's body, and I don't know.
Although, sorry.
I was gonna say it just kind of feels like it's watering down the franchise with those concepts, but
Yeah, which I mean, I like the kind of anxiety that they're trying to induce with it. It's like, oh, there's multiple, killer dolls running around. And honestly, one of my favorite kills. It's weird. I don't even really like this movie that much, but it's one of my favorite kills in the franchise. Is where the girl gets cut up by the glass that breaks above her.
It's almost the exact same scene from Bride. Whenever she throws the champagne bottle, he shoots the whatever it was, the canister up through the glass window and comes down. So
yeah,
a call back to Bride.
Yeah,
but you get you get the decapitation this time.
Right, and I like a good decapitation. I mean, who doesn't?
Sure.
Right? I'm not alone here. I mean, I like a good whack gone. Alice Cooper. But yeah, I think that cult just fell flat completely, and they could have done something more with that, but they really shouldn't have, and they didn't, and what they did sucked. And now they have the show.
But it brought back Alex Vincent.
It did, and that whole thing was kind of weird. Like, I like the fact that it kind of showed Andy being a little bit more
sinister.
Like, it's okay. It shows, okay, the kid's fucked up. Like, he didn't grow out of the shit. He got worse. Now he's just fucking, like, being torturous to this head of the original Chucky, or not the original Chucky. It's just one of the other Chuckies or whatever. And I think it's kind of, I thought that was kind of cool, that he was keeping Chucky's head in a closet just to torture it. Like, but I also got the feeling that he smoked weed with the head with Chucky.
Yeah.
He gives off kind of, and it's like,
because it's one of those things. They illustrate that at the beginning of the film where he's like trying to date this girl, and she Googles him and finds out about his history. So she's like, "This is too much for me." So he can't have a normal life because of all of his past. So the only thing he has that he can go back to is Chucky. Like, he's really his friend till the end.
Except in real life, women would be running to this character. Why? Because he's damaged as fuck. And that's just how people are in society these days. Oh, sure. Your whole family, like all your friends and family, were killed by a killer doll? Marry me.
Cool.
By the way, I have 6 other kids and 1,000 other fathers. Sorry, society's weird.
But I think, Cult. I don't know if Cult was just kind of a platform for them to get to the TV series and kind of lay the groundwork there. Because it feels like it. It feels like it's something that they just kind of like, okay, we're trying to get to this TV series, so let's kind of explain how we're going to get there. Bring it back.
It just quietly came out. Like, I remember I found a copy of it in Walmart. I didn't even know it was out. I was just like, oh shit.
Right.
Bought it.
Oh, Cult?
Cult, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with Curse too, actually. I think, because I don't think either one of them got a theatrical release. I think they just quietly came out on DVD.
Because what the is it the end credit scene or whatever in Curse where you see Andy come back and you realize that he has the doll, and he even has you get Kyle again.
Yeah.
They bring back Kyle because she's going to come over and torture him a little bit. So you get that, and then he was even talking to his mom. So his mom's out of the loony bin, and allegedly married to Mike. Because I think he says something about the Mike character. Kind of. He never came back on the show. No.
Huh.
But
I've seen like a lot of characters came back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of storylines too, including the Cult one. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I dig the like I said before, the TV series is kind of what brought me back into this franchise. Like I said, I wasn't a big fan of the first trilogy, and when I started watching the TV series, I was like, I don't mind this much. And then when I went back and watched all the other films, I was like, oh, this franchise isn't as bad as I thought. And it was because of the TV series.
I can dig that. I mean, I actually just I don't think it's the full, because the season 3 is still going on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I watched up to whatever the newest episode is. I think it was like 3 or 4, wherever the hell. It's interesting, season 1. I liked it. I thought it was kind of an interesting way to bring him back, cause some chaos. Season 2, it left a bad taste in my mouth. I was just like, wow, they are doing everything they can to make me hate this show after I started liking it. Because I was on fucking board with season 1. I was like, all right, there's a couple of little issues I have with it, but nothing too crazy. I can dig it. Chucky's back. He's funny. He's also fucking just eating more, he's more sinister than he has been in a while. I was down for it. It's pretty gory for the most part and violent and brutal. Second one was a mess. This new season seems all right, so I'm giving it a chance again.
I haven't seen all the second season.
Oh God, I do also. I also have to throw out there that I do like the fact that Devon Sawa is made to be. Yeah, and I'm sorry, Dave. I just fucking remembered that. You said, you haven't watched any of this yet.
Yeah.
Oh, you're good. Sounds like
Okay.
I should skip season 2 anyway.
No, you gotta watch it. Nah, you gotta watch it because there's there's so much that goes
no
on.
reason. I just haven't sat and watched it. That's all.
It's all about whenever I just have a minute.
I like it.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not horrible.
And we saw that one episode, or at least half of it, when we were up at Comic-Con, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, it didn't reveal too much to you, and you got to see, how fun the show was, because I think it was Kenan Thompson that was the guest star as the
driver.
That's right. Yeah.
Uber driver, and they have a fun scene with him. So it's a fun show. Like I said, I watched the whole first season, and I think I watched maybe 1 or 2 episodes of the second season, and I just haven't had time to go back and get caught up. But I've enjoyed it. Like you said, the first season was great, so maybe I won't like the second season.
Even stuff in the second season is there's good moments. There's some cool stuff in it. It just seems like there's just way too much going on in it, or whatever.
Right.
But I do think that they were smart about this, because the reboot came out, which honestly isn't horrible. You just kind of have to forget that it's a Child's Play movie. But
I forgot about the reboot.
Right, it's not really that memorable.
Really forgot about it.
But it came out, and everybody was like, "Oh, well, it's Mark Hamill, and it's not Brett Dorff, and da 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 da." But then all of a sudden, hey, Chucky's got a new show, and it's like, well, how the fuck are you gonna do this?
Right.
And they were perfect about it. They come in, pretty much where Cult left off almost. They kind of fill in some gaps for you, and they kind of just lead you away. And I think they can keep it up for a while, if they keep with this steady pace they've got on these episodes. But for fuck's sakes, please do not be a mess again like the second season. That's all I'm saying. But they can keep going for a while. Unfortunately, it's also spawned the idea of the Crystal Lake show that's supposed to be happening. And I've said it before. I've said it 1,000 times. I
love
don't know.
being a turtle.
I do love being a turtle, but I don't understand when it comes down to that. I don't know how they're planning on doing it. I don't have any idea. But for fuck's sakes, I've said it 1,000 times. Don't have a fucking. Why we don't need a prequel? Do we really need a whole show of a poor kid getting picked on and bullied? No. So I'm hoping that Crystal Lake is halfway decent, whatever. But you're going to see more pop up. You're going to see more franchises turn into series, and they're not going to be that good. That Chucky's kind of like the one that's it's pretty good. How you going to beat this? And it's just going to be a complete shit show, all because of Chucky.
Well, you know what?
Dairy series too.
Oh yeah.
So,
With
what is it?
Pennywise. The Dairy series.
Yeah. I've only watched a little bit of that. Have you all watched much of it?
Mm-mm.
No. See? I mean,
nope.
I forgot about that fucking show. I watched 4 episodes of it, and I was like, nah, I'll come back to it.
I don't have Netflix.
Yeah, that's I don't think that's gonna work.
Nobody cares. And people want the hockey mask. That if you ask any hardcore fucking Friday the 13th fan, would you rather watch the first one or one after? It's always one after. You want Jason. Like and even the sack. But we're talking about the hockey mask, what it is. Like people aren't going to want to watch. They don't care about his mom. They don't. Some might. Not every. I can't speak for everyone. Some people actually might be like, "Oh, I'm really intrigued about what Mr. Voorhees has been doing this whole time before the movie started." I mean, like it just. Do we really care? Do we really give that much of a shit? No. We got everything we needed in the first movie.
I'm getting little Rob Zombie Halloween vibes. Where it's like, oh, we have to have the backstory on the kid and how he got fucked up. Like I don't need.
God, no.
That's gonna ruin the movie.
No. Yeah. That's
what Jason's gonna be in the woods, like torturing a little bunny rabbit or something stupid.
Yeah, see, it's not needed. It just didn't. But with this, with going back to Chucky, I think that they did really good. I just don't want them to mix. I like how they bring in, because they do bring in old characters and stuff like that, and it works. But like they're doing it all at once, and that was my problem with season 2 on that. It was just like, okay, just spread it out. Like a fucking peanut butter sandwich. Just spread that shit out.
Peanut.
Right. Yeah.
Peanut
all the clump at one spot. You want goodness spread, right? So I don't understand why you're trying. But I digress. It's a good show. It's a fun show, and I think they can keep doing it for a long time because it's brought Chucky back in people's minds again.
Well, and as far as the film franchise goes, I'm hearing whispers that we could get Chucky versus Megan.
I heard that too. And I don't know how I feel about that.
When Megan came out. That was very entertaining, by the way.
It could be interesting, or it could be fucking terrible. I don't know.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna go with 2.
Now, which Chucky though?
Who knows? But I mean, I don't have a problem. Whenever I finally went and watched Megan, I was kind of dreading watching it, and I watched it. I was like, it's not really that bad.
It's not horrible.
I still haven't finished it.
Not that great either.
It's more relevant. Don't fuck with the Chuck.
It's true.
Like I said, I do remember because Chucky had a Twitter account, and before Megan came out, he was just sending out all these tweets, just going back and forth. That was pretty entertaining. But I mean, I would like to see another Versus movie, though. It's been 20 years. I think we're about due.
Dude, that's the shit we grew up on. I swear to God, forever ago.
Yep.
We'd always talk about, Freddy
would win in a fight, right?
Yeah. It would always be these crossovers, this Versus shit, they were going to throw Ash in there at some point. You always dream of all these characters coming into the same storyline together and seeing how it plays out. So,
Chucky hasn't had a counterpart either. And he finally does with Megan. So, yeah, that might work.
Unless you're going to fucking throw Annabelle into the mix.
Oh God, can we not? Can we not? Don't even. Oh, it makes my teeth hurt even worse.
Oh, Poltergeist.
Ooh.
Now you're.
Let's get it okay.
That's kind of gripping though. That's
the girl from Small Wonder.
It's a clown.
Will the girl from
Small Wonder? Thank you.
Will the girl from Small Wonder come in and be the protagonist to Megan's antagonist? Would she be the good robot that saves the day?
That'd be great. Make it
what
happen.
Is Small Wonder?
I am his cousin.
You never saw that show? It's an old TV show.
Small Wonder on Psychedistic TV.
It was great. It was so bizarre.
Yeah, it was old TV
I
show.
think full episodes might be on YouTube.
They are.
They are? Okay.
That's where we got that one from, I think.
Yeah, it was one of those off shows on one of the local channels that tried to produce their own TV shows. I think it was on DC 20 around here.
I guarantee if I see it, I'm gonna go, oh, that show. If it's old,
it's from way back. It was back when Silver Spoons and Alf.
Yeah,
yeah. When this
there's a possibility I've seen it.
Yeah, this girl gets this doll that's a robot, and it does, it's like.
Is she a little girl? Like, is she like this? And they open up her back and stuff.
Yeah.
She's like
Okay,
dressed like a maid, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Tiffany Brissett, I think her name was, or whatever, plays Vicky the robot. It's a real girl actress that's playing a robot. I'm Vicky. Hello, Chuck Nasty. Why haven't you watched my TV show?
I'm pretty sure that I have. That sounds.
And you don't remember me? What, were you too busy with the white trash, Jennifer Lilly? Oh, shit.
I think it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, it was another one of those that had like a weird time slot.
Yeah, Dave, you need to quit fucking around and go watch this Chucky TV show.
Yeah. It's on Shudder.
The Vicky robot, and they pass it off as her daughter.
Always on Shudder.
Why do I remember this stuff? I'm the same way with some shit.
Just get everybody to show up. We'll get fucking My Pet Monster to come in. Fucking.
Oh, I love My Pet Monster. What was Teddy Ruxpin was another one.
Teddy Ruxpin. Fucking some Cabbage Patch Kids. Some
I had a Teddy Ruxpin cassette thing.
Let's not stop there. Bring the Pound Puppies. Bring the fucking Muppet Babies. Bring them all.
Care Bears.
Care Bears stare. How fucked up can we make this film?
What about Captain Planet?
No, he's outside
the
the
Bernstein Bears.
Alf. It's got to be small. It's got to be a small character.
I'll eat your cat.
I never got that until I got older. When I got older, it was like,
little worm.
This has been a fun little memory lane.
Punky Brewster.
Oh God, she's hot as fuck now.
What?
This has been a weird one. This has been a weird one. We're all in weird moods tonight.
It's a little weird.
For the record, she was much older when that show was on. So, and now she's much older. God, why do you let me talk sometimes? Why do you let me go on and on? I wonder it.
Well, final thoughts on the Child's Play series before we get to our clip of the week. It's a good one too.
It's fun.
Fun stuff.
There's death.
It's fun.
There's comedy.
There's ups and downs. As far as, in my opinion, there's ups and downs to the franchise. Like I said, I enjoy the middle part more so than the others. Don Mancini, we can't give this guy enough credit. I mentioned, just the fact of his writing and how he's made this story about a doll into a whole franchise that's going to go on for a long time. And not only that, but I don't think he gets enough credit for how inclusive his films and TV shows are. He's what?
Well, just reading that.
If you look at any other horror franchise, I mean, it's not as inclusive as, gay characters, trans, all these different types of characters. Because, Don Mancini is obviously gay, but he has incorporated that into his work, and he's done it in such a good way that, it's not something that's in your face. He gives these characters life. He makes protagonists out of characters that are kind of the butt of a joke in other genres and everything like that. Nika, Fiona Dorff, she's a disabled. What other franchise do you have a disabled character that's like the hero?
She becomes more than just
heroine.
disabled as that show goes on. Just want to throw that out there.
Oh yeah.
But not only that, she plays a disabled heroine. She plays Charles Lee Ray in the TV series. Like, she's actually playing her father. So you got a female lead that's playing a male character. He's done all these different things that's helped I don't even know what is LBG. fuck, I always fuck this up.
LGBTQ.
Yeah. All these characters that have helped that community, and and it's another thing I feel like he doesn't get enough credit for, because he's brought that to the forefront. We've talked about this before with Joel Schumacher, where he's incorporated elements of the culture into his films, and you don't see it as much in the earlier films, but it's kind of like an undertone. Because you got
they had to be at certain times.
Yeah, especially in the 80s, because you couldn't just come out with these kind of characters, because the climate wasn't ready for it. But you had the undertones where you saw, Andy's dealing with not having a father, or Andy's dealing with being in a foster home, or Andy's in a military school being bullied, and it's traits that people from this culture and this community can relate to. People get bullied all the time for being whatever they choose to be, and it's a shame.
It's being different.
And especially with it comes to the forefront with Seed, with the GG character trying to discover what he is, or what she is, or what it is.
They are.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where it's not talked about, and bringing a doll into the picture and trying to have a doll figure out its gender, it's something that they didn't even really do. This was back in 2004, so it's like now it's at the forefront of our society, and back then you didn't really talk about it that much. So I think Don Mancini certainly deserves a lot of credit in that community for bringing these issues to the forefront, to where people can talk about them like this, because I don't think it gets talked about a lot. We talked about Alexis Arquette is in Bride. I mean, there's all kinds of characters like this that are strewn throughout the franchise. Even in the TV series, the boy that finds him at the yard sale, Jake, he's a gay character, and the other kid from his school is a gay character that he's in love with. We've talked about Fiona Dourif, when she becomes Nika, and Chucky takes over her body, like she's doing lesbian scenes with Jennifer Tilly type stuff.
Yeah, she is. I mean, yeah. Woo.
But you have all kinds of different characters from this culture that are brought in here, and I think he does it very well. It's there's so many other different films and genres where these type of characters are laughed off, or just not portrayed in the right light. And I think Mancini does a great job of doing it. Even the Glenn Glenda thing is a callback to Ed Wood.
Yeah.
So he incorporates all these different things, and it's it's definitely something that I feel like he doesn't get enough credit for.
I got to say something. Talking about the characters, the main characters on the show. I hate them. I hate them so much, and it's not anything to do with anything except for Jake looks like he always is smelling something funny. Like, it's just, oh God, I can't stand him. He's the most he just I can't stand it. I cannot fucking stand it. And then the other dude is like, I don't know. He's just the biggest worrywart. I don't know. I can't stand him. And Lexi is I want to kick her right in the face with a steel toe. I can't stand her type. I don't like it at all. I don't like the characters. Like the show, do not like the characters. For the main thing of just like, Jake's the one I hate the most. I hate him the most. He just has that face, and I make fun of it with my friends and shit too about it. And they even said he looks like he's always smelling something funny. I don't know. I don't know. But that's also maybe the reason why I like the third season, is because they don't seem like they're barely in it. Yeah, I hate a lot of things, and I hate a lot of people. But I could also enjoy TV shows. See, that also shows how good of a show it actually is if I don't like any of the fucking characters on it, except for Chucky and Tiffany, like, yeah, I can still watch it and enjoy it. You know, I hate everybody.
and it's not because of their sexuality. It's because of the character they are.
You'd be in a better mood.
Or that, or I'm just losing my mind.
A little bit of both.
Could be a little bit of both.
No, it's certainly something that he incorporates into his work, and like I said, he does a great job. And I think there's a lot of people from that community who are glad that they have characters that they can relate to.
Oh yeah,
especially in the horror genre, because like we said, back in the day, gay characters are mistreated, bullied, made fun of, and everything like that. Now they're the heroes. Now they're the ones that come to the forefront, and they're just normal people that are just going through this series of events. So it's not like they're not flamboyant. They're not treated like these big flamboyant characters from the past. They're that's how people are in real life. They're not fucking exaggerated.
Oh yeah, I mean, like
people are.
Well, yeah, there's no point. Like, I mean, that's one thing about movies and TV shows and stuff is about the being able to relate to the characters. And if you take away something that's a big part of humanity, that doesn't seem realistic enough. Yeah. So I mean,
and and Hollywood doesn't have a good track record of portraying these people correctly. There's all kinds of misconceptions, and it makes people think differently if you don't portray these characters in the right light. And Mancini is like no, these are just normal people, and their sexuality doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They go through
Waters.
shit just like everyone else. John Waters, fucking awesome.
John Waters approves. So that stands for something in my eyes. I think Chucky's a good guy. I think it's kind of weird that Chucky of all film franchise villains has actually got kind of a positive going on with it when it comes down to it all. You know what I mean?
I think so.
It's just so funny because he's such a negative asshole. Like there's nothing positive about Chucky at all. He's a fucking dick. But that's the level you need. You need the good and the evil.
You need the dick.
But you have that kind of anti-hero feel to it every so often. It's like there's parts like when we were talking about in part 2 where he's killing the teacher. He's sticking up for Andy. Or in the TV series where he's trying to kill all the bullies and everything like that. He's sticking up for what's his name? Jake.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of times where
there are moments where he does, yeah. Only in the later times.
They're kind of like more or less justified kills. What in Cult, whenever he kills the doctor, and like this is for Nika. Because the doctor or the psychologist or whatever
was right.
Abusing her, shit like that. So there are moments where his evil is kind of good and justified.
It's weird, actually. It's just like of all the characters. I don't know. It's kind of strange, but I mean, I even though it's not my favorite franchise by any means in the horror genre. It is one that I do hold close, be it nostalgia, whatever. There's a special place in my heart for these movies.
Yeah. And more than anything,
that's right. Yeah.
I feel like it's an entertaining franchise. It's not like the other horror franchises. Like I said, you're not going to be scared of this little fucking doll. Maybe some people are, but I'm not. I'll kick that doll's ass.
I mean, anything, you're going to be startled as soon as you hear him talk or see him or whatever. But
yeah, if he's running down the hallway, if there is a creepy ass doll running down the hall with a butcher knife, it's probably going to scare the living shit out of me. So if I don't have a complete heart attack, then I'll fight for my life. But try to to kind of figure that one out. So that's the thing. You got to put yourself in that mindset, and that's what I think of. That's a creepy scenario. Sitting here in the dark, watching a movie, look over, and oh, there's Chucky running straight down at me, with a fucking butcher knife. I mean, there's gonna be an explosion of some sort of bodily fluids, and not in a good way. Like I'm gonna be scared shitless. Like, that's not gonna be good. And if you know me, you know how gross that is.
That's what Chucky has. He has the element of surprise. That's his big thing. It's like, oh,
right, yeah.
Is it real? Is it the real one this time? We got to hold a lighter to his hand and find out. I don't know.
It's always fun too. I guess this would be. It's always fun in all the movies and all that stuff when the adults or the naysayers or whatever see firsthand that Chucky is alive, and it's always like the responses are always funny. You feel?
No.
Oh, God, we're going. Hey, we're going places here with this. More ways than one.
That story took a dark turn.
I don't think it would matter what if there is a doll running down the hallway, dong, knife, be it vibrator, dildo, whatever,
Carrot.
Microphone, it's gonna be creepy.
What?
Now, I don't really want to die by being beat to death by a killer doll that happens to be with a fucking huge dildo.
One way or the other.
One way or another, he's gonna fuck you
with a carrot. Some carrot
What
cake.
is happening?
Oh,
all right,
my goodness.
you know what time it is?
Tool
Dave?
time?
It's about that time. It is time to fire up the generator and show our random clip of the week.
We're gonna end on carrot.
In which, yes, I guess so.
That'd be amazing if this was like some kind of carrot scene, like fucking Jack Frost or something.
Oh, Lord.
The irony would just be amazing. I'd piss myself.
Like Santa's sleigh where you stab someone in the eye with a carrot.
Using designs generated by Skynet, we need no longer risk the well-being of our men and women in uniform. Robots will take their place on the front lines.
Hi, I'm Chief Master Sergeant William Candy. I was honored to be selected by CRS in the ongoing effort to save American lives.
I don't know about that accent.
We can fix it. It is now within our power to make war safe, and that is truly priceless. CRS brings you the face of the future. Ooh, it's me.
What the fuck was that from? I mean, I know it's Terminator, but
Fascinating.
what is that? Which Terminator movie is that from?
That was the third one, but calm down, Warner Brothers. It was a deleted scene.
No.
Can't get us.
That's okay if we're not canceled by this point after tonight's show.
Yeah, we might be all right.
Oh man, I wasn't ready for that.
That was Candy. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that one. I thought I had. I don't remember that at all.
Well, even if you've seen it, it was a deleted scene, so.
Oh, true.
So you didn't really see it.
True.
Did you see it or did you not? I mean, it's hard to tell. That was something.
All right, so that about does it for us for this evening. This was an interesting one.
There's a lot of ground to cover over 8 films and a TV show. Or was it 7 films? How many was it? How many? 7 or 8?
I think it's 8 counting the
remake. That's right. Yeah, the remake.
Okay. Yeah.
I keep forgetting. I'm not trying to be funny. I really do keep forgetting there was a remake because the remake came out the same time the show started. I think
it was like the year before, maybe.
Yeah.
Was it? I thought it was.
Yeah, it was like the year before.
Somebody said, "Oh no, we'll just throw Mark Hamill in there, and nobody will get mad. He does the voice of the Joker. He can do the voice.
He does a good job, but it's totally a different take.
He does a great voice for the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
He's my favorite Joker.
Love that Joker. Does anybody have anything going on in their lives they want to share with the internet?
Yeah. I have books. Amazon. Chuck Nasty.
Okay. I have books. Read them. Thank you.
Yeah. Thirsty, House of Flesh, and the Anthology Sludge. Go look them up on Amazon. My band's Bastard Sons with Judas Goat. Facebook, YouTube, Bandcamp, Spotify. Whitman and I have Graveyard Talk. That's on Spotify and Anchor.
Now, whenever you do Graveyard Talk, are you in an actual graveyard?
Not recently, but we have done shows from graveyards before.
Nice.
And actually we did a Stephen King episode on a Halloween a couple of years ago, only feet away from a horse that was badly destroyed. I've been thinking about my OnlyFans, but unfortunately, I don't have the time to do that right now.
Why am I picturing?
Be careful what you picture.
Chuck and Whitman with this fucking horse. Oh God.
We did a show next to a horse that was dead. We didn't kill it. We didn't fuck it. What are you thinking? What is wrong with you? My phone's dying. Let's get this over with.
It was a horse. Of course.
All right, Chuck's phone's died, so I guess we better sign off. Do we know what we're doing next week?
No.
Okay.
All right, so we will be here.
Still basically undecided between two things.
Yes, but we will be here. We'll be here live next Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you join us then, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Show us some love. Hey, it's free, and it means a lot to us. So, and good night, Jeff. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by the store. Yeah. And I hope everybody had a happy Halloween. You know, we had the pre-tape last week, so we've kind of been off more or less in the background here. But it was fun.
We worked harder.
It was harder.
We had fun with that. So.
I gotta slap real quick. Bravo on the Halloween stuff, guys. That was good.
That was fun.
Yeah,
Halloween
and I don't know who chose the passage to read that. Would you just pick it out of the thing and read it?
I chose it because it was. I don't know if where I said this. I don't know if I said it on the show or after the show the one night. But you know how the authors always go to the bookstores and they read excerpts from their books to a little crowd of people. I always thought it would be funny if you were in a bookstore and you were reading that out loud to people, starting right there in that line, and it's talking about taking out his dick and all this stuff. I just think I can just picture you in this bookstore reading that.
Oh,
that's why it stood out.
It was something to hearing that being read. That was cool. I was over here like ah.
Oh, and the funnier part was it was trying to record Dave saying it so we could do it and change the voice.
Wow, it was 2 hours.
Oh my God, we would crack up so bad, man. I wish we would film that as a blooper reel because
as soon as Dave would go, game over.
It took forever, and then it's you get past that, and then whenever he's talking about the
semi-stiff dick,
and
then smack her in the eye. It's I'm
no.
That was a whole paragraph. I was like, dude, I'm not going to get through this whole thing.
Some of my best work.
I had to literally just bury my face in a pillow and not hear Dave. I just thought I'm sitting there running things through in my mind. I'm I can't hear him because if I hear him, I'm gonna fucking crack up.
Mike has the fucking phone taping the audio, just sitting there while he's holding his ears.
Yeah, I can't hear him, or I'll lose it.
Good shit.
Good shit. Well, thank you again for joining us. We're gonna get out of here. We are your video store clerks. Thank you again for joining us, and we will see you next Tuesday.
Chad, why do you